Shalom, Akim Shalom. Before I begin this lesson, I want to start off by giving all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Chakwarash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that taught us His truth. A sincere shalom to the hopeful electors out there listening, learning, and or teaching in truth and sincerity. Shalom. Hey, shalom, Akim. So today, I wanna go into an interesting thing that happened to me yesterday. And how I believe through the spirit that everything happens for a reason. Well, we know that according to the scriptures, but this particular thing through the spirit, I feel like the Lord was sending me a message, letting me know. So just to give you some context, I want to go into something that happened to me at a previous plantation, man. A previous plantation I worked at, it was very corrupt, more corrupt than the typical plantation, man. You had a leader who I believe was incompetent, some proud fat fuck Edomite. And then you had a couple of Edomites who were like supervisors, corrupt as all hell, worthless. And basically they had me under one and then they had me under the other. But basically, man, while I was there the whole time, I had pain in my body in different parts of my body from, injury I had. And then, basically, how Esau is. You tell them about these injuries or you try to do something or even hint at the fact that you need a little bit of mercy, and they are steady, quick to try to figure out a way to get you fired. So I learned my lesson. I pray to the Lord. I said, I know I'm in captivity, Lord. Give me strength at these plantation jobs. Give me wisdom. There was a prayer I had wrote down about, a prayer you say before you go to the plantation, man. So, I was really just living through faith here, man, because, the way the job was set up, that part of my body that was in a lot of pain, I had to overwork that part of my body and just push through the pain, and the Lord gave me the wisdom to use herbs. So I used a lot of herbs, a lot of herbs every morning. I was very disciplined, man, because I had no choice. It was life or death pretty much, and I'm not trying to make a sob story about it, just telling you what the situation was, man. A lot of times Jake has a hard time finding a job because the last one's hired and the first one's fired, especially if you go into a place that's heavy with a bunch of Edomites everywhere. You often get targeted, man. All right. And you're going to be a victim of being overworked and underpaid. And then on top of that, you're going to deal with a lot of racist bullshit, passive aggressiveness, a lot of fucking weird vibes and shit like that. And people just making shit up about you, trying to get you in trouble, and then you got these bootlicking ass Jakes who will team up with Esau, man, and fuck with you because ultimately they're all together, man. 2/3 Jake, Esau, and heathens. They're all together against the Lord's men on this side, man. On this side, they can just feel our spirit and it's off-putting to them, and their spirit is off-putting to us. Okay, we cannot mingle, but we gotta deal with each other because we're at the plantation. So basically, man, long story short, okay, this Edomite guy, extremely racist piece of shit, okay, treating me like shit, not wanting to teach me anything, and then acting angry all the time, like everything's my fault. This motherfucker won't lift a finger to teach me anything, show me how anything goes. So I just follow this dude around. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna learn. I'm gonna teach myself. I'm gonna follow your ass around, and I'm gonna try to learn this job, whether you want me to learn it or not, motherfucker. So next thing you know, I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing everything right. They have nothing to say against me. Dude even told me I'm great at my job, and he couldn't believe it. But even then, these motherfuckers treat me like shit, So I put curses on these devils, and then some new girl comes in and fucks up like the workplace. She starts acting crazy. The Lord put a spirit on her. Next thing you know, a lot of people get in trouble there, and I'm completely unaffected. And I was the only person she was nice to, man. So I feel like, hey, the Lord really showed me some things while I worked at this place, man. It really boosted my faith because at the time I really had nothing. I didn't have anything to fall back on. It was just, you keep this job, and if you get fired, you're probably fucked. So the Lord kept me in there as long as I had to be kept in there, man. And basically this was after some layoffs from the previous plantation. So I was just running around looking for jobs and shit, and I ended up at this place. So then, whatever happened with her. They fired her. Then they send me to a whole nother area. Said you're gonna spend the rest of the summer here. That's and who told me that? That was this fat fuck Edomite this story's about. Long story short, I go over to this other area and it's even worse. They got me doing all this extra fucking work, and the guy there is a complete asshole, just talking shit to me, passive aggressively, playing his little Edomite jokes and shit. I'm just thinking in my head, man, I would love to just crack this dude over the fucking head, but I gotta keep my job. So, I'm doing my job. I meet up with another Jake, Southern Kingdom Jake, who's super excited. He comes in. Then after a few weeks, he's miserable. He's telling me he hates it there. He doesn't understand it there. And long story short, he puts in his 2 weeks. I tell him I hate this place just as much as you, and he couldn't believe it. He said, "You look like you love this place." I'm like, "Yeah, that's an act we got to put on to keep our jobs, man." And he thought about it for a little bit, but next thing you know, they start, basically this fat fucker, he confronts me and tries to act like I'm the weak link in the chain. And I look at him with disgust, man, because I'm literally the only one in that area carrying that whole area, man. But you're gonna talk to me like I ain't doing shit. And I don't know. I know there was a few people that had to do with it. There was some bootlicking Issacharite Jakes, and then there was a few Edomites that were all together. And so basically, they talked shit to me, man, and I almost lost my mind. I was working 12-hour shifts here. I said, I ain't putting up with this bullshit, man. I'm going to just have faith in the Lord. So, they called me over the phone. I gave them a piece of my mind, and I said, you know what? I quit, man. I'm done with this place. And, I just quit on the spot, man. And they could not fill my position. That whole area they had me in, and they had those people in, they ended up canceling that whole job for all those people, and they ended up moving to other areas of the plant. Okay, but the real beautiful thing happened after I quit. I have no backup plan. I said, I don't need a fucking backup plan, man. Fuck this shit. I'm not working this whole ass job. And some of you brothers out there know what I'm talking about. You work somewhere where you do everything right and you don't bother anybody, but people just keep fucking with you. Management keeps fucking with you, harassing you, making shit up, acting like you done something wrong when literally, dude, I was holding that whole team up, man. And, that shit ended up falling apart for them. But I put a bunch of curses on these devils for weeks, man. I was so pissed off. I was putting up curses on them for a long time, man. Every fucking day I would call them out by name. Not call them out by name, but I would say the prayer of the curses. The ones we often do here in Great Millstone, Shalach Rayam, so on and so forth. And I put their name in that prayer. I said, Lord, direct all this pain and suffering and anguish onto this man here, all you motherfuckers out there, man. You see? And yesterday I went to the store and I met up with a friend who used to work with me at this old plantation. And we were chopping it up outside. And I shit you not, he told me, hey, you remember that manager? The manager of the whole plant? Yeah, he got fired. And he looked at me like, telling me like it was a big deal. Like I could see with his body language. He said, even the big ones fall, you see? And in my head, I remembered, I was like, oh yeah, that's the motherfucker I put curses on, because that's the guy that had, he came up and accused me he never even so much as had a conversation with me, man. Rude as shit, just come and told me one day, yeah, you're going to go to this area. And then when I go to that area, people spreading rumors about me, talking shit. And he comes up and is like, hey man, you need to go. You need to come on. You need to get it together. You need to go faster. Oh, and by the way, if you're going faster, you also need to do it like this so you can slow it down and keep it safe. I'm like, okay, so you want me to go faster and slower at the same time? I thought in my head, I said, nah, I'm done with this place. I'm about to, I'm about to crack somebody over the head. So, you know what? It wasn't worth it. I said, you know what, man? Yeah, we are subject to Esau, man, but we're not in chattel slavery anymore. You could quit and get another job, trust in the Lord. And so basically, man, this fat fuck that made my life hell, because he was the leadership, man. You know, yeah, you got bad employees, but guess what? If you got a bunch of bad employees working together to be assholes, chances are it's the leadership's fault, man. So I put extra curses on that devil. And he cost that company millions of dollars and they fired his punk ass. You see, so, let this be a learning lesson, Akim, that, the Lord hears our prayers, man. We are in captivity. We do have these devils fucking with us constantly, and yeah, they're gonna have the upper hand on us for a while. But we are at the end of Esau's rulership, man. The curses are being transferred to Esau. Okay, we are not in chattel slavery anymore. Okay, yeah, we're in captivity. Yes, some of us are going through chattel slavery. You have the Jakes that get kidnapped and sent underground. They get sent to these different islands, so on and so forth, like Epstein Island and shit like that. But you got a lot of us out here in the so-called free world, and you got some Jakes doing all right. They working their shitty job, they saving some money up. We have a little bit more freedom now, man, because the captivity is almost finished, man. Like it says in the book of Lamentations, the punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, man. The Lord is not gonna keep beating our ass with these Edomites forever. Okay, yeah, we got our chastisement. Okay, but it's okay to throw up curses on individuals who put hell on you, Akim. All right? So, you brothers and sisters out there, I encourage you to put up curses. And of course, it goes without saying, you need to put curses on Babylon, all Edomites, you know, the wicked in general, and also the heathens, because 2/3 of our own people are wicked as hell too, man. Some of them need the curses put on them, man. All right? But I want to go into the scripture. This is Lamentation 3:62. It says, the lips of those that rose up against me and their device against me all the day. Right? These different, these devils today, they have all these schemes against our people. They rise against us with false accusations, right? And you can see this on a large scale in the prison industrial complex, okay, which is a for-profit system that makes money by throwing so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians into prison. Whether it be true or false, the accusations doesn't matter. As long as they fill up those prisons, they make profit, right? Like the scriptures say, framing mischief into law. Okay, this whole system is set up on crookedness, man. Okay, and we are the target, we are the prey. Okay, Lamentation 3:63, behold, they're sitting down and they're rising up, I am their music. Right, they got us, basically, like we're dancing for them, man. We're doing all this work, they're kicking back. you know they got us in captivity, they're putting us through hell day in and day out, and then on top of that, they want to fuck with us mentally. It's like, dude, just let us work for you and build up your kingdom and serve our punishment. But no, they want to play the mental warfare with you. They want to fuck with your emotions. They want to fuck with your self-respect, your dignity. They want to demoralize you. You go through these humiliation rituals, which is applying for a job is a humiliation ritual, and then working at the goddamn plantation. You know, and you see a bunch of Edomites chilling, talking shit, and then they got you scrubbing floors. They got you doing all the dumb shit when I'm just as qualified to do what these Edomites is doing. You see? So what do, man? We put curses on these devils, man. All these devils suck, but there's some of them that go above and beyond to make Jake's life hell. Okay? And just like that guy that I'm talking about, hey, the Lord fucked his world up, man. And the Lord sent that man that I used to work with just to give me that message, because we only chopped it up for like 2-3 minutes, and then the conversation was cut off quick. He went into the store, he was like in a rush or something, but it looked like the Lord sent him just to tell me that, hey, you remember that guy you put curses on? Yeah, I fucked him up. Call Allah Yahweh Shem Shai, man. So now he could get his ass up and go flip burgers at McDonald's with his fat ass. Fucking causing my life hell. Look, he cost the company millions of dollars and they fired his ass, man. Because he made a mistake. You see, but let Jake make a mistake, right? You know, put you on a fucking blacklist. You can't get a job in town. You got to move town. Maybe this fat ass needs to leave town, man. Everybody knows who he is. All right, so yeah, you Edomites, you 2/3, you heathens. You don't know who the fuck you're messing with, man. Keep talking shit about us. You know, you see a man has a beard at a job. Oh, he might be a Hebrew Israelite. Oh, let's fuck with him, yeah. And then until the Lord puts your ass in jail, you know, for some secret shit you was doing, until the Lord makes your family member get into a car wreck. Now your whole world is fucked up. You see, don't mess with the men of the Lord, man. Let this be a warning to you people out there, man. All right? And a lot of you ain't going to listen, and good. Good. Suffer the consequences, man. All right? You know, I had a little bit of yayan yesterday, man. You know? And I was going to have a little bit more today to celebrate this man's downfall. But you know what? It's not that deep. You know, I don't really need to be drinking 2 days in a row. That's just the way I like to do it. Nothing wrong with it. It's not a sin. But I just feel like, you know, it's Monday tomorrow, so I'm going to just kick back as far as the alcohol is concerned. You know, when we really going to drink wine is when this kingdom falls, man. When America goes down in thermonuclear destruction, we're going to drink wine with Yahushai. You know, Yahushua, he hasn't drunk wine in a long time because he said he won't drink again until he drinks with us in the kingdom, man. So Yahushua is waiting. He let that tolerance build up. He's waiting to drink wine with us in the kingdom. Okay, and it's going to be a beautiful day when we watch the downfall of our enemy. You know, that's what we want to see. We want to see this devil cry and scream and wail in misery. Just like the misery we got to go through. We want him to suffer just like we suffered. That's called righteousness. That's called justice. See, you people that want to love everybody, you twist judgment and justice. You want us to suffer, but you don't want them to suffer. Fuck you. Fuck all you Jakes out there that love Esau, that want to forgive everybody. Fuck you, man. The scriptures doesn't talk about forgiving everybody. It's talking about when it says forgive and take the slap on the right cheek or the left, that's talking about within the ministry. You got certain brothers that have disagreements. Okay, we're brothers. We serve the Lord. We're not supposed to, you know, hate each other, but we're supposed to hate Esau. We supposed to hate, the Lord hates him, so we can't hate him. And look, we're going to read this. Look, this is a curse that the author put against Esau, man. Here in Lamentations 3:64, it says, render unto them a recompense, O Yahweh, according to the work of their hands. Right, like they did to us, let it be done to them. Give them sorrow of heart, right, which is the mind, man. The Lord will go into the mind of these heathens and plague them, man, just like he did in ancient Egypt. You know, you could read about that in Wisdom of Solomon. It talks about how they saw apparitions. Okay, that's some scary shit. You in your room in the middle of the night and some dark figure comes up in your room and you scream and ain't nobody there to help you because it's just going to disappear and people are just going to call you crazy. You know, you might be taking a shit and something crawls on your neck and you screaming. Ain't nobody's going to come to your rescue, you fucking Edomites, you fucking devils. All right, the Lord will plague your mind. The Lord will drive you to suicide, man. The Lord has driven many Edomites to that, man. For your wickedness, man. The Lord will plague your mind. The Lord will make you see shit that's not there. Hear things that are not there. You know? It says, give them sorrow of heart, thy curse unto them. Right? You can put curses on people, man. That's not a sin. Right? Now, you're not supposed to put a curse on your parents or on, on any one of the elect. But you can put curses on these devils, man. These people out here that are wicked as all hell, man. You know? It says, persecute and destroy them in anger from under the heavens of Yahweh. That's right, man. You know, and that's what I prayed against these devils. All these people that fuck with me at these different jobs, man. You know, if I didn't do nothing to you, then I'm going to put a curse on you for fucking with me, man. As simple as that, man. And not something small. Like if somebody doesn't hold the door open, I don't give a fuck about that. But you're trying to get me fired for no reason. I didn't do anything to you. You're trying to accuse me falsely. What does the scripture say about that? He that defrauded. Let's get this. Let's get the law. Well, this ain't the law, but we're gonna get to the law. We're gonna read this first. Salakia, I'm getting ahead of myself. He defraudeth the laborer. Let's get that. I'm getting excited. When I get excited, sometimes I get ahead of myself. This is Sirach 34 and 22. He that taketh away his neighbor's living slayeth him. Right. You cause your neighbor to lose his job on some bullshit because you don't know how to mind your fucking business. You are killing a man, right? They don't know if I got kids, a wife, I got to support. You're going to get me fired because you don't like the way I talk. You don't like my beard. They might have said, come to the potluck. We got pork. Oh, well, no thanks. I'm on a diet. Oh, and they look at me crazy. Oh, well, let's fuck his world up. He looks like he's Muslim. I think he's Muslim. Yeah, let's get him fired. Okay, you fucking with the wrong one, man. We're not Muslim here. We're not Muslim here. We serve the true power. Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai. All right? Now, I know there's a lot of you dirty Edomites watching, man. Hey, this might be why you're going through a hard time. You might have fucked with a man of the Lord, and now your fucking kidneys are giving out. Somebody you love got fucking put to death. Let that be a fucking lesson, man. You damn devils. Mind your fucking business. But you're not gonna do it. You're gonna keep being wicked and good. And we're going to keep watching you get destroyed, man, systematically. This whole kingdom is coming down. Your empire is coming to an end, you Edomites. It's almost over. The white man's rulership is almost over. What are you doing fucking with Jake? Go enjoy your white privilege. What are you doing fucking with Jake? Same thing with you 2/3 Jakes. Keep riding this wave, man. Esau's about to collapse. And when he collapses, all this foolish all this prosperity of you fools is coming to an end too. It's gonna destroy you. You see, you wanted to sell out to Esau, you want to be a bootlicker, join his clubs, right? Whether it be on a low level at the plantation or a high level for you celebrity Jakes. Okay, you're all going down, man. You're all going down. Okay, but those of you that fuck with us unnecessarily, man. Okay, we put a curse on you. Hey, the Lord might just fuck you up prematurely. So, hey, you brought that on yourselves, man. This man brought that on himself. He could have just left me alone and let me work this job. I was being overworked, but that's fine. I'm used to it. But no, you want to play mental games with me too? Okay, fuck you, man. Now you got to go flip burgers, you fat loser. You see? But yeah, man, fuck these Edomites, fuck these 2/3. It says, he that taketh away his neighbor's living slayeth him, and he that defraudeth, right, using fraud and lies to do what? Defraudeth the laborer of his hire is a bloodshedder, right? All you managers that put us on a blacklist, because we had a disagreement with you, whatever, you got your feelings hurt because we told you the truth, and now we're on a blacklist and we can't get a job, or they find it hard. We find it hard to get a job, because the Lord's always going to provide, man. But best believe these managers have these they have these blacklists out there. Hey, those of you put us on a blacklist, that could be your own ass, man, because you are guilty of murder at this point. If I can't get a job, man, that could cause me to go homeless. That could cause me to end up on the street, right? And a lot of Jakes have died this way. There's a lot of homeless Jakes because of some bullshit at a job, whatever. All type of systemic racism and bullshit that goes on at these plantations, man. And we could go on and on forever, man. But y'all get the point, man. It says you're a bloodshedder if you fuck up a man's job, man. If a man loses his job because of you, and he didn't do anything wrong, you're guilty of murder, man. It's the same thing. What happens if a man, if a man strike a man mortally? Let's get that real quick. That's one that comes to mind in the law. No, that's talking about servants. Salakia. Here we go. Exodus 21 and 12, I believe. Yeah, let's get Exodus 21 and 12. Here we go. He that smiteth a man so that he die, right? You kill somebody, you murder someone unjustly, right? Because there's a difference. If someone got put to death for being evil, right? They did something worthy of death, you're not gonna be punished for killing them, right? If as long as you do it according to the law. But if you kill someone who's innocent, that's murder. It says, he that smiteth a man so that he die shall be surely put to death. Okay? You see that? So the Lord's judgment does come down on these Edomites, man. Yeah, they're in the power of their glory. All right? But they fuck with the wrong Israelite who the Lord loves. The Lord will fuck you Edomites up, man. Especially if we put a curse on them. You know, let's get an example of that, man. Let's get an example in the book of Kings, man. This is 2 Kings 2 and 23. It says, and he went up from thence into Bethel, and he was going up by the way. There came forth little children out of the city, and mocked him, and said unto him, go up, thou bald head, go up, thou bald head, right? So these little children were fucking with the prophet, man. And so what did the Lord do? Okay, well, let's see. What did the prophet do? He said, and he turned back and looked on them and cursed them in the name of Yahweh. See, just like I put curses on these devils at these plantations, man. It says, and there came forth 2 she-bears out of the woods and tear 42 children of them. See, so the Lord will take vengeance, man. You fuck with the prophets, we put a curse on you. All right, you will pay, and you may even pay with your life, man. You may even pay with your life. You see? 2 she-bears came out of the woods and tore them children up, man. It doesn't matter if you're a man, if you're a woman, right? You women, a lot of you Eves out here think the Lord's gonna show mercy because you got a vagina, man. The Lord ain't no simp. The Lord will fuck you up just as quickly as he fuck up a man who did the same bullshit, man. Same way with a child, man. These children ain't fucking innocent out here, man. You make fun of a prophet, you know, talking shit, putting hell on a man who's doing the work of the Lord, you will suffer the consequences, man. The law is the law. All right, now, of course, we're in a grace period, okay? But still, man, the Lord, you people on some bullshit out here, all right, you will pay for it, man. All right? So with that, we want to go to 2 Chronicles 15 and 12. It says, and they entered into a covenant to seek Yahweh power of their fathers with all their heart and with all their soul, that whosoever would not seek Yahweh power of Israel should be put to death, whether small or great, whether man or woman. Showing you that the Lord does not discriminate, man. The Lord will fuck up a man, a woman, a child, an old person. If you come up against the Lord, man, you come up against the Lord and his people, you putting hell on his people. Hey, man, we got to do the work of the Lord out here. We're doing the Lord's business. And guess what you people out here are doing? You putting hell on us, all this extra hell on us. Guess what? It's like you fucking with the Lord's money, right? The Lord has a business. This is the Lord's business, right? You putting so much hell on brothers that brothers weren't able to make a video that day, or brothers are going through it. Hey, you are in direct conflict with the creator of the universe. What do you think is going to happen to you people? You know, don't cry. Don't cry and talk about how life is unfair when you get all twisted up in a car wreck, you know, or you get a stroke or a heart attack prematurely. The doctor said, well, we didn't see anything wrong. We don't know what happened. You know, now you're on meds for life. You see, that's the judgment of the Lord, man. Think back to what you fucking did to somebody that you shouldn't have done it to. Think back. You see? Hey, man, the Lord is cold, man. The Lord don't fucking play. All right? And then let's grab one more. See if I can find this one. Real quick from the Old Testament, it talks about quick, man. Exodus 22:22. Ye shall not afflict any widow or fatherless child. You see, and spiritually, the Israelites are widows, man, because we were basically separated from the Lord, man, and the Lord is our man, and we are the woman, right? Fatherless child, right? Because we got cast away. You know, that's why through the sacrifice of Yahweh we're able to come back to the Heavenly Father. You know, and that's why you got the marriage supper of the Lamb that's coming through, or coming eventually. The marriage supper of the Lamb, right? When we're rejoined with Yahweh, right? Okay, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh. Verse 23, if thou afflict them in any wise, and they cry at all unto me, I will surely hear their cry, right? So the Lord hears our cries. You know, that's how we can apply this today. The Lord will hear our cries, you know, when people afflict us, okay? Whether they be Jake or whether they be Edomites, Moabites, Ammonites, don't matter. It says, and my wrath shall wax hot, and I will kill you with the sword, man. I will kill you with the sword, and your wives shall be widows and your children fatherless, man. You know, and the point of that being, you know, the Lord will judge you with the same intentions you had, man. All right? Or, you know, the Lord will judge you according to your wickedness, man, because the Lord is a just balance. Okay? You intend to do this much damage? Okay, that's the amount of damage that's going to happen to you. You know, and these Edomites, they're in the peak of their glory, so they can't imagine how a Jake takes getting fired versus an Edomite. Edomite could just get any other job, even a better job. But a Jake, he's going to be down in the dumps, might have to collect unemployment for a while, and get a job that's going to be a demotion, pretty much. You see? So, hey, keep being stupid, man. We're going to keep throwing up curses. Yeah, you Akim out there going through hell. Let this be a testimonial to encourage you, brothers and sisters out there, and let you know that we are being looked after by the angels of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. The angels of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai are watching what these devils are doing in the plantations and these different businesses out here. You know, all these satanic rituals they have. You know, they could be Edomites at your job that are part of these cults, and they're putting curses on you and doing this, that, and the third to you. Different witches, you know, hey, they might cough in your direction. That might be a form of a curse, man. You know, there's a lot of sneaky, sly things these devils do, man. But the Lord sees it, and there's no enchantment against Jacob, like the scriptures say, man. So, you know, if these devils are putting hell on you, people are putting hell on you, hey, put a curse on them in the name of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, and watch how quickly the Lord judges them and fucks their life up, man. As is righteous, man, because hey, their intentions are malicious, man. Just because they hold the door open for you, they act friendly in front of you, man. You know behind their back they wish death on you. These Edomites hate us with a passion, man, and a lot of you Jakes are just now figuring that out. You're just now figuring that out. When we told you, man, like I made in my last video, I said, we told you this man is the devil, man. Hunting parties at the islands, Epstein Islands, hunting black people. Okay, more black children going missing than any other race, right? More Israelite children, right? You so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. You're the ones who are victim of all these things, man. Slavery, okay? And then even now, they don't let you rest at the plantation. You know, you can't just let me have a job. No, I got to jump through 10 more hoops than Esau, man. Fuck you devils, man. Straight up, fuck you devils, all right? And we're going to keep putting curses on Babylon until this bitch gets blown up by Russia. Okay, that's what's going to happen to America, man. From sea to shining sea, it's going to be a great destruction, man. For all the wickedness that's done here, man. You know, we can't write enough books of all the wickedness that's been done in this land, man. But the Lord is gonna see to it that you people get judged. Every last one of you, man. You Edomites, you heathens, and you 2/3, man. So with that, I want to finish by giving all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Chakwadash, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that taught us his truth. A sincere shalom to the hopeful elect that's out there, listening, learning, and or teaching in truth and sincerity. Shalom wa, abad babal, shalom.